Hello, and welcome to Easy Street. My name is Zach, and today we're going to talk about treatment facilities, some of the ones that I've been to, and kind of what I think about them. And I don't know, maybe a lot of you can save a little bit of money if you have a loved one who is on drugs, and maybe I can help you do that, because sometimes they get ridiculously expensive, and sometimes they're an absolute waste of money. So, yeah, let's take a little closer look at that. All right, so what exactly is a treatment facility? A treatment facility is a place your family sends you when you're entirely too crazy to live on your own. That's not exactly what it is, but a lot of times that's what it winds up being, and that's the reason I've been in a couple of them myself. So what a treatment facility is, it's basically a place where they teach you the basics of staying sober. It's a place where you go and you can live there full time, or it's something that you can do in more of an outpatient type setting. But when I think of treatment facilities, I think of a place that you go to and you live there for 28 days, and every day you have classes, and you're there with about anywhere from 10 to 200 other alcoholics and addicts, and you're all trying to do the same thing: not kill each other. Because when you put that many people together who just barely are sober, it can be pretty interesting. But anyway, a treatment facility. I have personally been to, how many have I been to? 3, I think. I don't know. Can't remember. I've been to about 3 different treatment facilities, I think. And the very first time I went to a treatment facility, it was absolutely not my idea. I went because my wife wanted me to go, and my dad wanted me to go, and my family wanted me to go because they were tired of seeing me use drugs and stuff. But I was not tired of doing drugs at that point in time. So I go and I pack my bags and I head off to treatment for 28 days. I'm from North Carolina, and it was about 20 minutes from my home, so I was pretty close to home that time. And it was Christmas time. I remember that. It was Christmas of 2009. I was there. I went in on Pearl Harbor Day, 2009. I came out January the 4th, 2010. But I did get some good information from that. I learned some of the basics of staying sober. I learned kind of how to live my life. I learned how to handle life on life's terms, but I was not ready to apply those principles because, number one, going to treatment that time was not at all my idea. I did not want to go, and I did not want to stay sober at that point in time, if I'm being completely honest. Now, of course, I told my family I wanted to stay sober, and, maybe to a degree, a little bit I wanted to, but, not enough to actually put the work in. So now skip ahead almost a decade, and we go to the last time I went to treatment. The last time I went to a treatment, it was about an hour away from where I live up in Virginia, and I was absolutely ready to get sober. I was absolutely sick of who I was, who I'd become, and the things that I was doing. I was pretty much living on the streets. My wife and kids had left me, and my parents wouldn't have anything to do with me, and I didn't have a job, and I was stealing to support my habit. And when you get to that point, then it doesn't take long for life to kind of beat you into submission. So, it really is, once you get to that point in addiction, it really does get tough. Because even your addict buddies kind of turn their back on you when you stop having anything to offer them. I no longer had a job, so I didn't have a whole lot of money. And when you get to that point, because I'm going to tell you right now, I know this is one of the kind of the cliches you hear about addiction, but the people who are out here using drugs with you aren't your friends, and that really is true. And but even though they're not your friends, they're probably having some of the biggest influences on your life, who you are, what you're doing. To be honest with you, I would have, before I had went to rehab this last time, I would have taken the advice over, or listened to my drug addict friends over the advice of my friends or my real family members and my real friends, because I was that sick. I was just, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and those people wanted to do what I wanted to do, and which was just stay high all the time. And the ironic part was, at that point, I was really staying high to numb the pain of how crappy I'd made my life because of getting high. So it's kind of a catch-22 right there when you think about it. It's like, why am I getting high? I'm getting high so that I don't feel the pain of life. Well, why does my life suck? Because I'm getting high every day. So, but that's kind of the mess you wind up getting yourself into while you're using drugs and everything. But let's talk a little bit more about treatment facilities and kind of what I think about them. Now, you can go and Google treatment facilities and you can get all kinds of information. You can get all kinds of statistics about how many people, like how only 1 in so many 100 or 100 or so will actually stay sober. But I'll be honest with you, I absolutely hate statistics, because to me, statistics always set you up to fail. When you look at something and you see only 1 out of so many get sober, then you're thinking to yourself, what's the odds of me being that one person? But when you look at sobriety as that everybody that decides that they want it bad enough gets sober and stays sober, then that kind of has a little bit more of a positive outlook on it. So let's look at treatment facilities. It's a 28-day program that you can go to. And the positives to it is that you can get away from your loser druggy buddies. You can kind of get away from life for a little while. You can let go of any responsibilities that you still have, and you can 100% focus on you and what you need to do to make yourself better. It's a safe environment for the most part. It's a place where you will be supported. It's a place where people understand you. So those are some of the pluses behind it. Some of the negatives are, it sometimes can cost a whole lot of money if you don't have insurance, which a lot of times drug addicts don't have insurance. This last time, the only reason why I had insurance is because my beautiful wife had a good job, and she allowed me to use her insurance to pay for my trip there, because I did not have a penny to my name. And that's a negative, the cost. Sometimes it's hard to, if you still have a job or you still have responsibilities you're taking care of, if you hadn't lost all those things, then it can be tough to get away from 28 days. Another negative could be sometimes when you wind up locked up 28 days with a bunch of addicts, they find ways to get drugs and contraband into those facilities, and you can wind up relapsing in the facility. That's something personally that I never did. Anytime that I was in a treatment facility, I never got high. But that's something that a lot of people experience and everything stuff. The another negative is a lot of times, a lot of the reasons I wound up going to treatment was because I wasn't ready. A lot of times you can get pushed into going. Your wife can say, hey, if you don't go to treatment, I'm going to leave you. So that's a pretty good reason to go to treatment. Your boss says, hey, if you don't get sober, if you come to work high again, if you don't go to treatment, you've lost your job. So all these different people that kind of have a little bit of authority over you, they can wind up kind of coercing you into going when you're not ready. And if you're not ready to go to treatment, then it's definitely not the place you need to be, because number one, if you're not really there focusing on who you're trying to become, a better person, what you're going to wind up doing is bringing somebody else down that possibly is trying to do the best that they can. So another thing is that it can just become a money racket. I feel a lot of times like a lot of people are there just for the money. They go to they make these nice big facilities, and they wind up costing a fortune to stay at, and they make a ton of money trying to help addicts and stuff. So you need to do some research on the facility that you think you're going to or you would like to go to. So, and I'm not here to say yes, definitely go to treatment, or no, definitely don't go to treatment, or whatever, or rehab, or whatever it is you want to call it. There's a lot of different names for it, but I'm not here to, I'm just saying, educate your little self a little bit before you run off and make a big decision, because that's a pretty big, expensive decision. And the number one thing is, if you're not ready, the best thing you can do is just keep on using. To be honest with you, until you're at that point that you're ready to make some changes in your life, then you're going to continue using. And the best thing for you to do is just continue using and stuff. And you say, well, that sounds kind of harsh, and but the reality is that with addiction, sometimes you have to make harsh decisions, and the only thing that can get you ready to stay sober is more using. Because sometimes your life has to get miserable enough so that you can look around and say, hey, I need to do something else. And that's what happened to me the very first time back in 2009. When I went to rehab, I was absolutely not ready to get sober. But by 10 more years later, after a decade of using, I was absolutely ready to make some real changes in my life. And as of today, I'm still here. I'm still staying sober, and I'm taking care of my family. We're back together and everything. I've got a job that I'm working. I work 60 plus hours a week to take care of my family, and I'm trying to do the YouTube thing now. I'm trying to maybe help one person out there. Like I said, I'm not here to get 100 million subscribers and make $1 million here and all this stuff. I'm just here to try to help somebody. So, and I understand that my videos aren't for everyone, but if you feel that you can learn from me, or you can glean something from my experiences, one thing I want to do is I just want to let you guys know I want to do several different things with this channel and everything. One thing I want to do is I want to be as informative as I can about addiction, and I do want to entertain people. I'm gonna come up with some videos, maybe have some skits and stuff involved in them, something a little bit different than just this right here. I'm not going to have just 100% me sitting here talking into a microphone for 10-15 minutes hoping somebody listens to me. But I believe it's going to be it for today. I'm going to cut it off here. If you will, just like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. If you agree with what I'm doing, you feel like I can be helpful to people, please, the best thing you can do for me right now is subscribe. If you have any questions, if there's anything if you have a topic you think you'd like to hear me talk about, or I do some research and stuff on these topics and stuff that I do. So, if there's something you have a question about, if I don't know the answer, then I will research it and do my best to answer it for you. So please leave a comment, and I will do my best to answer you. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.